Welcome to Truly Heal and our PEMF instructions. We'll talk about first the PMT 120 or PMT 100. It's the same, it's just an older model and not as powerful, and the PMT 120 with all the applications. And I thought I'll share with you first what not to do. It really is important. Number one, don't treat patients with pacemaker. If they have a pacemaker, it can fry the electronic and then their heart stops pumping, so you don't want to do that. Check this first. Nobody can be treated with electronics built in that control. This is also for earpieces when they have hearing aids. If there is electronic in there, it can fry the device. So everything that they have, including mobile phones or little other electronic gadgets, put them into a little basket further away. This is important. You don't want to kill all those devices just because the electromagnetic pulse creates that high friction. The second thing is no credit cards. Again, 2-3 meters away in a little basket, and you make a little sign and say credit cards and business cards and passports and everything that has that little magnet stripe or those little sensors built in needs to be further away. I've been in Germany and all my cards were deleted because they got fried by the device when I was sitting on it. And now the last point, number 3, don't treat patients that have metal pieces at the surface of their body. You know, nose studs, earrings, piercing, tongue piercing, nipple piercing, all of those things can be causing an electric spark. Now the spark won't hurt, and I can show you that, like in order to really set up a demonstration, I'm going to use the loop into the device. You create like a shock, nothing else. It's not harmful, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cause any damage, but it's scary, and most people are afraid when they experience that. So let me just show you, and I put that over my head and put that onto the chain. I put on a black t-shirt that you can see it, and now if I turn on, I hope you can see, there is actually sparks going off that chain, and as soon as I stay still, they start to become very intense, very strong. Now you can see that can be scary. Even on the mat, if you have a patient being on the mat and they have a treatment, turn it off before you unplug it. Even on the mat you can have this extreme reaction. Let me show you. If you have a patient laying on that mat, turn it on, turn it up. See those sparks? Now they don't hurt. There is no problem at all. You can't feel anything. That's not an issue. You can touch it and you don't get any kind of electricity. So it's not dangerous, but it's scary. So don't do that with your clients. Get them to take off all their decoration and put it into the basket as well. That's all that you need to consider. Anything to do with metal will create sparks. Everything to do with electronic will be deleted. And electrical devices with electronic fine parts inside, and that includes watches, will be fried. So just keep them further away and you'll be safe. Alright? And now let's go into the individual devices. And as I have the mat already set up, this is the ideal tool. If you go to bed and it's on now, and you can hear probably the little tick. It's on a very low level, and that's actually really beautiful to recharge. So when you go to bed, you put a towel over the top and you lay down, and that pulses into your body, especially before you go to bed. Think about sleep. During the sleep, you detoxify, you heal, and you energize your whole immune system, the oxygen uptake, everything to do a better job while you sleep, and you give your body the energy to heal during the night. That's why the mat is absolutely brilliant. And as I say, you can use it anywhere. You've seen before with the sparks, the mat can be very, very strong. So let's just say you put it into an armchair, into your couch, and you sit here, and you turn this thing up. And you will feel that it causes real strong muscle contraction. So it's not something that you underestimate. This mat is as powerful as all the other devices, and it can be used for people that can't move anymore, that can't, dance around but lay in bed, to actually treat them and to focus the treatment really targeted onto certain areas. So the mat is really great. You see one thing when I do it, I always turn down and turn off. Don't turn it on and press the green button to start the process before you have turned it down. If a patient, for example, with the loop sits on the device and you turn it on, they'll jump and then they get scared. And that's not necessary. I like to do it sometimes for fun, but they don't like me because of that, and everybody is scared, and you don't want that for your patients. Okay, turn it on, turn it all the way down, press the green button, 3-minute run, and now you can turn it up. And you can do that dependent on where you hold the device and what kind of body part you treat. You regulate it to that area of pain. So when we go into, let's say, brain treatments, I have it here. I would actually hold it and I would go gently up until I feel it. Not more than feeling. You don't want to fry your brain, you don't want to hurt yourself, but just in this area it's perfect. And I can feel it, how it really stimulates and activates every part of my brain and helps with detoxification, immune activation, all of that. It really is a power. I do that daily and I love it. Now, you can do joint pain. You hook it up like this, and now you can sit easily, read a book, and you can go up. Now you can see it causes muscle contractions. On my left side, doesn't hurt. Nothing. See, I go all the way up. Now this is a massive pulse. And it really causes muscle contractions. If I do that for a longer period, I have tomorrow sore muscles, because it's like a full-on workout. So you don't need to go that high, but you can just regulate it so that you can feel it strong, and it will activate this area. It will cause repair to cartilage, it will cause healing, muscle resetting. It actually resets the cellular memory of the cell. So let's say you had an injury, like I had here. I dislocated that arm. And because of the pain, I started to move less, and then I got into restricted movement, and I couldn't get my arm higher than that. It was just like completely blocked. So when I got my device, I was starting to use it in that area. And you can see, if I turn it up here, that little piercing pain that is stronger than here. Like I couldn't turn it up the full way, but I can run it like this. Now I was doing that for 2 or 3 days, and really it was like such a massive difference. All of a sudden, my arm goes all the way up. There is no problem. There's still a little bit of a limit in the final top area, but within the next 2 or 3 days, that's gone. Now I could just go like this, but when you do it, you will feel it's not as powerful as if you really put it like into the whole body, so that it really puts tight, and then it pulses into the lungs and it pulses into the shoulders. So, and I'll show you afterwards the butterfly, which is a lot better for your shoulders and neck than the loop is. Okay, turn down when you go over your head. Alright? Don't leave it strong, it could be damaging to the brain. Okay, now we turn it up. Now down here, the magnetic field comes through the middle. That's just off. Turn it down, turn on, and bring it back. Now from here, the field expands in this way and comes back to the middle, and the other way around. It goes out this way and comes through. So in here, my thyroid, my lungs, my voice box, everything is greatly activated. So I would actually do the whole treatment for my lower jaw, for my dental area. I could use it, you know, like really go in here, go to my thyroid, go for my chest muscles. All of that is now stimulated and healed. And in this vertical version, it's more in the top part of the lung. You can also hold it to here and go for the lower area of your lung, your solar plexus, your gallbladder, your thymus, all of those areas, and stimulate them. For the liver, you would hold it down here. So you can actually really move from organ to organ and stimulate it. Now, I've done it now since many years, and I love doing it, and I love the feeling, and I really feel the recharge so dramatically that I crank it up quite well. I don't do too often, I do it twice a day, but therefore I do it a bit harder. If people are new to it, don't stress them. Go down, just tiny little. The impulse will still be strong enough that they feel it amazingly. So it doesn't need to be that strong, but the more you get used to it, you really can crank it up and get that massive energy feel into your body. Okay, down, over my head, it's off, there is no pulse at the moment. And then, as I said before, you can move it around, you can put your feet in, and then do the same as you do here with your arms. You do with your feet, you go into your testicles, into your ovaries, into your sexual reproductive organs, and you stimulate that hip. Usually when you put it around the hip, it's quite painful, so be careful, turn it down and stimulate that area. A lot of inflammation in the hip, a lot of problems in the sacral area can be mended with that. We've been using this device now in several fitness studios and osteopathic clinics and chiropractic clinics. And what they found is that the cellular memory reset is probably the strongest effect. When you go to a chiropractor, they might readjust, but then because your muscles are all out of whack and they are trained to that wrong position, it would pop back into this awkward position in a very short time. When they realign and they do this at the same time, the new adjustment stays, and it stays for the whole time until a new injury or a new problem causes you to shift. And that's why it has been so strong. In fitness studios, there is a lot of damage done to your tendons, to your cartilage, to your muscles while you do heavy lifting or while you do extreme sports. Now that expedites the healing by factor 3. So a lot of sports people that we have, super athletes in Germany, soccer clubs, like whole groups of rowing clubs who cause a lot of injuries, especially gymnastics, they use this device instantly after an accident in order to heal faster or prevent swelling, edema and bruising. And that will do an amazing job. And I'll show you that with the next device. So you turn it off, you pull the little silver lever down, and then you turn it to the left and take it off. Now let me show you very short the butterfly. And the butterfly is really practical, very intense. I'll show you why. Because it has a double loop and a smaller radius. So it's like to the point. You can use it, breast cancer, you can use it for liver. Because of the smaller circle, it has a deeper penetration and a lot more concentrated. The double loop helps as well. So this is something that you can use very, very locally. And turn it down, turn it on, press the button, 3 minutes, and now you bring it up. We use this in dental clinics and with people with dental problems, cavities in their jaw, root canal filled teeth, extractions, abscess, bacterial load. You would then stimulate the dental area with this, and you can really focus on that small area with full intent. Again, it's very close to your brain. Don't fire it up all the way, and you will feel it. It goes through my whole facial muscles, and I can feel it into my eyes, into my sides. So if you have hearing problems for my ears, that would be too strong, so I would take it down. But if you have ear infections, if you have throat infections, if you have thyroid problems, that's how you want to use it. Really great. And you can then open it up and put it like this over a shoulder. So you box from one side and you box from the other. And again, here I could go all the way up muscle contractions, but no pain. On this side, if I do it, because I've injured that arm and dislocated it several times, I feel a pain. Now PEMF uses this as a diagnostic tool, and they move it around the body to find painful places. I found that a lot of people have the pain in the same place, so it's certain areas that are a lot more susceptible to PMF, and I wouldn't call it a diagnostic tool. But I know exactly that this is my injured shoulder, this one is not. This one moves freely, this one was very restricted and is now going free. I actually managed the first time to sleep on my tummy again with this arm up, and it worked really well. So that's why this would be your dealing of choice. For males with prostate, or for rectal cancer, or for bladder cancer, or for any kind of testicle cancer, everything which is in your genital area, this is ideal. Because you don't have muscles down there, you can actually really go high up, and you would have no pain or contraction or no unpleasant sensation. You can sit on it for rectal cancer, and it would really create a massive amount of energy into that field. Now, before we go wrong here, we don't cure cancer. What we do with PMF is we enhance our blood circulation, we enhance oxygenation, and we mobilize and activate our immune system in that area. So if you have any problems in that field and you would hold this on and you would really have that using this area and stimulating it, then you get that increased dealing of your immune system with the cancer. And that's the effect that you want. So this is not treating cancer. Dr. Rau in Switzerland and Dr. Saupe in Germany at the Arcadia Clinic, they use this in a very strong, concentrated way to stress and kill cancer cells. But it's not like you kill, all of them at once. You kill slowly, layer by layer. If you then combine that with local hypothermia and with infusions and with frequency devices, then all of a sudden you penetrate and you weaken the tumor, and that's why they have such stunning results. So this is part of the tools to destroy cancer cells, but it's not exclusively killing enough cancer cells that you can call it a cure, all right? Just need to clarify those things. Now, this device can also, turn it all the way down, be used very nicely, very easily while you read a book for brain injuries, memory loss, Alzheimer, all sorts of edema in the brain, after injuries, after you hit your head or you had surgery. You just turn it on and then you go slowly up, but again, very, very slowly. You hear now, now a bit stronger. Okay, that would be plenty for me. And like the big loop that you take up and down, you actually feel where it is. This one boxes in the whole brain in a way that is actually very soothing. I found this like one of my major tools to use it, because it really helps with detoxifying heavy metals out of the brain. It activates the nutrient uptake of the brain, so it's really, I feel 10 times better, and my brain hasn't fried. I'm still able to talk, so long-term usage of over a year now in that area doesn't cause or seem to cause any harm. It's actually improved drastically. All right, now there's one more device that I would like to show you that is associated with that, and that's the rope. This is a bit of a fiddle thing because it's, it's easily tangled and knots and you have to disassemble. It's actually a very, very beautiful material that is easy to handle, but you would plug in one side. And now if you have someone with an injury, let's say my mother fell, and she has very strong osteoporosis and her whole hand was fractured, her arm was broken several times, doesn't mend, doesn't heal, so we started like that and then wound this several times, very light and loosely around her hand and around her wrist. And we just kept doing it until this was like a nice big knot. And then you plug in the other end Turn the device on, turn it all the way down, press the button, and now you bring it up. Now there is not much pain sensation in your hand, so you can easily hold that for 2 times or 3 times 3 minutes here. Now what we achieved is bone density from 22% was going up to 40% in 1 year of use. Daily use, so osteoporosis is proven, and there is tons of research and paperwork that shows how PMF actually increases bone density and deals with osteoporosis. So that's a dream. In her case, because the hand was broken several times, she couldn't really move it anymore and some fingers didn't work. All got smooth. She's now using hands like ever before and without pain. This is one of the best pain treatments. And now, one story, very short. A client, she was falling down the stairs and she twisted her ankle and it was swollen, bruised, black, blue, and it had a lot of water retention, edema in it, and she was in pain. She could hardly stand and just hobbled on one leg around the clinic. We put that on, and after a while you feel that this turns really warm, so we put that on and her leg was swollen like this. And then we wrapped it around and had 3 times 3 minutes, so 9 minutes in total treatment. And all of a sudden that conglomerate just slipped down and fell off because her leg swelling had gone down so drastically. Now that's a very clear sign that it activates the lymphatic system and the whole retention. And that's what we see also with the brain. If you have edema in the brain, then that is greatly relieved with that coil. If you roll it up in a bigger way, you can use it just like the coil, like this, but it's not quite as powerful as the properly wound and wrapped coil. But again, you could roll that up very nicely in a big spiral and put that onto a client to have the full effect. You can use that around the neck, around the shoulder. Tennis elbows are amazing when you use that because they really respond so dramatically well. Again, all different ways to use it. You'll find your own. Always important, turn it off when you take the plugs out. And that's pretty much it. You can't go wrong. I had the device so many times with patients where I thought, oh my God, hopefully they don't cause damage because they're using it all day. No negative side effects that we have discovered so far. Actually, one client, prostate cancer, he got the loop, he was sitting on that, and then he had it running, he put it from the top, he boxed his prostate from all angles, and he was using that device at his office beside his desk pretty much all day long. And I thought, hopefully he's not aggravating it or not causing more damage, and I told him to be careful. He said, I'll observe it. I'll observe my PSA, I will go to the doctor, I just don't tell him what I do, I just do it. And he has improved drastically. His PSA levels dropped. First they went up, probably through the aggravation, and then after a while they dropped drastically. And he's not really one of those who does a lot of dietary means or change or lifestyle change. He just loves his thumper, as he calls it, because it really gives him the kick, and he's doing really, really well. So it's not a guarantee that we'll do that for everybody, but when you see how those devices are loved in the clinic, you wonder why not everybody has them already. At the Arcadia Clinic, I have patients that get up 5 o'clock in the morning to get their first 2 or 3 rounds of treatments in. They do that in the common room. Then after lunch, they all line up to get the treatment. In the evening when they have group gatherings, it's really like, it's my turn now, it's my turn, and then you have even people getting up late night if they can't sleep and turn it on, energize their body, go back to bed, and then completely fall asleep. So it's the most used device that we have, and it's the most loved device of all. So I think that's something that you will appreciate in your practice too. If you have any feedback, any kind of recoveries, any kind of pain relief, send it through to me. I really appreciate every kind of learning and lesson that we can do together with this device. All right? See you soon.